So, it is what it is. But anyway, let's talk about my All NBA selections. So I'm gonna start with the third team. My third in team All NBA is Jimmy Butler. I don't want to hear no Jimmy Butler jokes. I don't want to hear nobody saying, "Oh my God, did you say something good about Jimmy?" Don't start. Jimmy and I made up about 2.5 months ago. He didn't even know we had a beef, but we made up anyway. So it doesn't matter. You ever make up with somebody that don't even know you exist? I did that. Me and Jimmy. We cool now. Don't even worry about it. So Jimmy Butler's on my All NBA third team. I mean, honestly, if anybody's ever followed my channel, follow me on social media, they know that I have not really fooled with Jimmy like that. I never deny him being a good player. Never. But even with me giving him the respect that I was already giving him, he really impressed me in the finals, in the postseason period. Just from a leadership standpoint, from a focus standpoint, his game, his play, period, his performance, he really impressed me. I think he's going to be All NBA third team this year. I also think Paul George is going to be All NBA third team. I think that he's going to push possibly being a second team All NBA player, but I'm going to give him third team. I wrote this up, and if anybody doubts or they thinking that I'm responding off of what happened tonight, yeah, you suck, Nelson. He said I'm really enjoying this stream right now because I'm giving Jimmy Butler some love. But if anybody thinks that I'm responding or going off the for what happened tonight, I'm not. So this is the link there in the chat to the article that I wrote, so you can actually follow along with me. I got spoilers, so I'm giving you the spoilers from the top. But I wrote this up earlier this week, and it was kind of in response to legendary Bulls writer Sam Smith. He put out his predictions for the NBA awards today, so I figured I'd go ahead and kind of respond to what he was saying as well as do my own. Now, also on the All NBA third team, and I think this is probably where Nelson and I and maybe somebody else is going to disagree. And maybe I'd be interested in knowing what Sports Gaming Universe is going to say about this, because he's very familiar with this player as well, and connected to Jimmy Butler. But I got Zach LaVine on my All NBA third team. And I got Nikola Jokic and Karl Anthony Towns also on the third team. On my second team, I have Giannis actually slipping down. And the reason why, and I actually agree with Sam Smith on this, I don't think that Giannis is not going to be a first team All NBA level performer this year. But the NBA has traditionally showed year over year that they get fatigue with giving the same players the same type of honors. And Giannis has won back-to-back MVPs. He's won the Defensive Player of the Years. He's done all these things. And after a while, they start to look at who else can they give some of these awards to. You want to be honest? Michael Jordan could have gotten the MVP almost every single season he played in the NBA. Almost every single one. To be totally honest, LeBron probably could as well. But what happens is these stars of that level start to get taken for granted after a while. And once they start getting taken for granted, people start looking for who else can they give these awards to. That's what happens. So I think that Giannis drops down to second team All NBA. I think Steph is going to be a second team All NBA. I got Kawhi Leonard on second team. I got Jason Tatum on second team, and I also have Joel Embiid. Now, my first team All NBA, I kind of went back and forth on a couple of these. I've seen a lot of people putting Luka Doncic on their second team. I think based off what we've seen from Luka Doncic already in the first two seasons of his career, I don't know why we would expect him to do anything but get a little bit better than what we've already seen. And with basically what he did last year, how is that going to mature into a second team All NBA guy? I think the only place for him to go is All NBA. I got Damian first team. I got Damian Lillard also in the first team. I have Kevin Durant as a first team All NBA, and I did this before I saw tonight. But tonight, what I saw tonight only made me feel good about my prediction. And then I got LeBron James and Anthony Davis rounding out my first team All NBA. All right. Now, some of you have already seen this, so you might have clicked on the link. But my coach of the year is Tom Thibodeau. As I said, I believe that the quickest route to coach of the year in the NBA The fans pick a portion of the team, but the quickest right to he said, "Come on, hey man, Kawhi. You know, Kawhi is a fantastic player, but if you look at what's there." Overall, man, I don't know. I expect, like I said, I expect Paul George to take a step up. So if Paul George takes a step up, some production is going to fall from some place, and it's generally going to fall from the other top scorer. So I think that Kawhi's second team, it'll be fine, especially if Paul George's third team, which is as I predict. So I'm kind of putting this all way together. The way Kyrie is playing, the way Kyrie looked tonight and the way he looked in the preseason, that is a part. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. The part of it, of my prediction that I feel is the shakiest, and the part that makes me feel the most uncomfortable is leaving Kyrie Irving and James Harden off. But we're at a place right now where there are so many fantastic players in the league that are very, very, some fantastic guys are going to. Are going to miss out. That's just, some great guys are going to miss out. I could totally hear an argument that Zach LaVine doesn't make it. I hear it. I don't think that's crazy. I don't. But I do believe that most years somebody performs at a level where you like, wow, man, this dude really, really took a step up and really did. And if the Bulls, to me, all of these predictions kind of line up together. So if one thing kind of goes wrong, then maybe everything falls off the rails, right? So most of these predictions are based on me believing that the Bulls are going to be better this year than people expect. So it all kind of goes in a line. If the Bulls are better than people expect, then their roster gets more respect. Their roster gets more respect, then the stars on that team get more respect. So Zach's the best player on the team. If the Bulls find themselves as a 40-win team, which is what I predict, then Zach LaVine stands to reap some individual benefits for this team, quote unquote, overachieving. So it all lines up for me. If it doesn't come to fruition, then, you know, all of it's going to essentially be shaky. But I do have Tom Thibodeau as the coach of the year. Here's my thing with Thibodeau. Thibodeau has traditionally gotten the most out of a low amount of talent. And the Knicks don't have to be a playoff team at all for him to get coach of the year consideration. If you want to talk about who looks the most if you want to talk about I'm laughing at Amy Bro's comment. If you want to talk about a team that has very low expectations, I mean, I don't know how many other teams in the league have lower expectations than the Knicks. If Tom Thibodeau can somehow get the Knicks to 26 wins, 28 wins in a 71 game season, God forbid 30. Come on, man. I mean, come on. I mean, what? I mean, you tell me who's going to get more respect for the head coaching job that they've done if Tom Thibodeau can get his but look at his track record. Look at his track record as far as, I don't believe that Tom Thibodeau is a championship level head coach. I don't. But I do believe that when you are the type of head coach that gets the most out of a little, you constantly find yourself in the running for coach of the year. He has a situation with the Knicks where that if he gets those guys, which we pretty much know he will, to defend consistently, because if you don't defend for Tibbs, you don't play. You don't play. So I'm just saying. I'd have to look that up, Abby, bro, to see who was the last coach to win coach of the year with a losing record. I will tell you this, though. This is going to be a strange season. We're going 71 games. Everything's going to be different. I'd have to look that up to see who was the last coach of the year to win to win the award with a losing record. I mean, around, getting right in the 500 area definitely also would seemingly put you in a good place as well if you're Tibbs, because of, like I said, how low the expectations are for that particular team. And honestly, this particular prediction is not, I'm not the only one who says this. I believe Sam Smith also tapped Tom Thibodeau and said that he felt that was his pick as well. I mean, whether he says that or not doesn't really matter for me, but I don't think I'm the only person that's saying that. My most improved player is Michael Porter Jr. And the reason why I say that is because they're going to base that award off of what he did statistically last year. And statistically last year, he actually he really had his step up period. He really came into his own in the bubble. So if he stays healthy, he's expected to build on what we saw in the bubble. And that player looks like somebody who could be an elite level scorer, an elite level player overall in 3 years. So I like Michael Porter Jr. to get the most improved player award. Like I wrote in my article, I would love for that to be Lauri Markkanen, but I have not seen anything that would suggest that will be the case. My defensive player of the year is Anthony Davis. I felt like Anthony Davis probably should have gotten the defensive player of the year last year. Alex Campbell says that Johnny Red Kerr. It's a Bulls connection. Johnny Red Kerr is the only coach to get it with a losing record. Doc Rivers was 41-41, and there it goes. So a pair of 500s in there. And sometimes things happen for a first time, guys. I'm just saying. But my defensive player of the year is Anthony Davis. I think you can make a very good argument that he could have been and should have been the defensive player of the year last year. Didn't get it. I think that, that will be recognized, that he may have been bypassed. And so I give him the nod for it this year. My sixth man of the year is Carmelo Anthony. I think that it's great that he has accepted a six-man role. I think it fits him perfectly right now. And I think that his game actually is just ideal for that approach. And what are you talking about? We saw that we had one coach ever who had a losing record, and then we had a couple 500s in there. You like Bam Adebayo for defensive player of the year? That's not a bad pick at all. It's not a bad. I would not say that that's ridiculous at all. I don't know that you can give Bam Adebayo the defensive player of the year on the same team with Jimmy Butler, who could actually be some of his biggest competition for the award. I don't know that we'll see that. But yeah, Johnny Kerr, 1966. So, but my sixth man is Carmelo. I just think it's an ideal situation for him. Accepting and embracing that role, I think it's a great spot for him to come away with six man. I would love to see, and so get ready to start hating. I would love to see Derrick Rose get to six man. I do think he'll be in the running. I would love to see him get it, but Montrezl Harrell is also, if he doesn't end up taking the starting spot from Marc Gasol, because Marc Gasol stayed in foul trouble the entire night tonight, but if he doesn't end up taking the starting spot from Montrezl Harrell, you always got to look at Trez, because he's, LeVert could definitely win as well. All of those are, none of that's dumb, but I really like Melo to put up some solid numbers as a six man this year. My rookie of the year, you guys can call me a homer all you want, but I got Patrick Williams. I really got Patrick Williams. I do think that he's going to get a strong push from Isaac Okoro in Cleveland. I also think he'll get a push from LaMelo, because LaMelo will dominate highlight reels with the fancy passes and just the flashier style of play. But I think that Melo's what I expect to be struggles with shooting the basketball, struggles on defense to somewhat hurt his rookie of the year campaign. I think Isaac Okoro is I think Okoro and Pat Williams are the two most complete rookies right now of any of the first few year players in the draft. So I love the fact that they both guys can defend and they both can contribute on the offensive side. I think both guys shoot a little bit better than people expected. So I like William, and they're both gonna be on the floor because of their ability to contribute on both ends. It's not Hornet hate at all, Matt. It's not. I just don't think that LaMelo's game is mature enough as of right now to do the things that he needs to do to win Rookie of the Year. I think he will impress people. I think that he will be a good player. I think that he definitely has to get to the point where he can consistently shoot in the 35 to 37% range from three point from behind the arc if he's going to seriously be considered a next level kind of guy. He's not going to be able to hover in here at 29 and 32 and 33% from three and be considered the kind of player that warrants being taken number 2 overall. So that's just my thing. I love what I saw from Wiseman tonight. Very active body, far more skilled than I think most people thought he was. He looked, and so let's not get crazy, all right? So let's keep this in the perspective. So nobody go running down the street with this. But tonight, watching him, he reminded me a little bit of David Robinson. He really did. Now, he's not as refined and may never get there because there's a lot of variables in that. But physically, physically tonight, I thought that he looked a lot like David Robinson from an athletic and body type standpoint. You don't see very many 7-footers who move as fluidly as Wiseman. I would venture to say at this point he's even more physical than David was, especially at that time. So I don't know. I really did like Wiseman, but I don't think that Wiseman is going to have it come together enough to beat Okoro and Williams out for Rookie of the Year. What I love about Patrick Williams is that his defense will keep him on the floor pretty much all the time. He's a far better shooter, like I said, than people give him credit for. He's a better ball handler than I think a lot of people give him credit for. And he doesn't back down, and he has him and Okoro have, I think, some of the best poise of the rookies that I've watched so far. So I really like Pat Williams. Now, like I said, if Okoro wins, I would not be surprised. Even if LaMelo won, I wouldn't be shocked. But I got Pat Williams, and I think it'll be a tough, kind of close kind of vote. But I think he'll win. Now my MVP is Kevin Durant. I think that Durant wins the MVP. I mean, like I said, I think a lot of it is LeBron fatigue. It'll be Giannis fatigue, and I'm looking at Kevin Durant, and I'm looking at how healthy he looks and how quietly on a mission he appears to be. Now that MVP obviously has a lot to do with success and performing well, a team performing well. And I think that most of us probably believe and expect for the Nets to be a strong team throughout the season. I think most of us are pretty much at that point where that's what we expect, for them to be pretty much a perennial contender all year long. So that won't be a problem for him to check that box. And so I expect for him to be right there in that MVP voting. And I think that he's my choice to win the MVP. Now, obviously, we know it could be LeBron, it could be Anthony Davis, it could be Giannis again. I don't think it'll be Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie ever finds a way to beat out Kevin Durant on that same team. But those others definitely going to be in the conversation. If the Boston Celtics find a way to get to 50 wins in a 71-game season, Jason Tatum will be in the conversation. Because if they get to that point, the role that Jason Tatum will have to play will be quite significant. So, that's my pick there.